Today, we are going to talk about what will happen if you commit to LinkedIn for the next 90 days, because I think that is where most people actually fail. They start, either go full in and they commit and they maybe manage to keep it up for 90 days, and then they are so exhausted. So they actually stop and they disappear from the platform for a very long time. Or we have those who don't even dare to commit for even, I don't know, 5 days. And I was there too. So when I started my business, I was so afraid of being on LinkedIn in general because I was thinking, what will my former colleagues say? The platform seems extremely professional. I don't know if I can even keep up um, to all like the level of quality that it seemed to be on the platform. If you are here with me today and this is the first time that you actually see me, my name is Josefine Wanner and I'm a former corporate executive turned entrepreneur and business growth strategist. And I help my clients to win and to grow their audiences on LinkedIn. Because here's the thing, I also started out on Instagram in the beginning because it felt a little bit more creative, it felt a little bit more fun. And I quickly realized, though, that it's really hard to stand out on Instagram because there you have all these huge creators there. They have been doing what they're doing for several years. You also have those creators who have just started out and they are super successful on Instagram. But it's so much harder to stand out there because you're not only competing with other business owners, you're competing with everyone who wants to share about their kittens or everyone who wants to share about their kids, what they have accomplished, even with my father-in-law who shares about his holiday pictures. And that is why you need to be on LinkedIn if you aren't there already. So this is actually streamed live to LinkedIn, to Facebook, and to my YouTube channel. So if you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, because that is where you will also find all the past recordings. Anyways, if you commit to 90 days on LinkedIn, because it is the platform where it's still the most easiest way to stand out in comparison to all the other platforms, what will happen then? And so many say, oh, I want to have more clients, I want to have leads. And yes, that can absolutely happen. But there is so much more than that. You will connect with people, real people who will become your friends. You have the possibility to be a guest on someone else's podcast. You might even realize, oh, I want to start a podcast myself, or going live like I'm doing now, or create a YouTube channel and then repurpose what you share on YouTube to your LinkedIn audience so that you actually are on more than one platform. Who knows, maybe you even might get a book deal if that is what you want, because the opportunities on LinkedIn, they are amazing because you have instant access or direct access to thought leaders and amazing people, because we are more than 1 billion people who are on LinkedIn, and only 1.4% of us are actually posting regularly, meaning you have a huge opportunity to stand out in comparison to everyone else. So first of all, what I want you to do, if you're feeling I don't really know where to start, I would identify why. Like, what is it that you want to achieve by being on LinkedIn? What is it that you want to achieve? So one of my very first LinkedIn clients that I taught about LinkedIn, she wanted to gain paid speaking gigs. So she identified that fairly quickly, even though she's multi-passionate, but that was what she wanted to get out of LinkedIn. And then she went all in on that. And within 8 weeks, she got her first, it was even faster, by the way, because within 8 weeks, she had three new speaking gigs. So by identifying your why do I want to be on LinkedIn? What is the purpose of me being on LinkedIn? It will be so much easier for you to keep going, even those days when it feels like really hard to show up, because you will need it. When the motivation drops, it is so important that you know, why am I even doing this? What's the purpose of this? Because there will be rainy days. There will be super bumpy days when you don't even know whether you can keep going, whether you just should, give it all up or head over to Instagram again. Maybe you had a failed launch or whatever it might be, something that will make you feel that, then you need to go back to your why. Why do you want to be on LinkedIn? And then we have the challenges, like, why aren't you already crushing it on LinkedIn? What are your challenges? Is it that you feel that I don't know what to write about? I don't know. I don't have any content ideas. I feel as if everything has been said already. I am 100% certain that if you just start, by the way, just start. In the beginning, we might sound a little bit like everyone else, but you will find your tone of voice too. You won't find it if you try to figure it out in a vacuum and not go out there and not try it at all. So by just starting, if you can't really find any content ideas, you don't really know what to do. What I suggest is that you go for a walk, listen to a podcast, grab something that I'm saying now, note it down. Oh, this really stood out. This is really something that I can spin on. Like, make it yours. Turn that into your what it is that you want to say. And then you use ChatGPT, because who doesn't love ChatGPT? I don't think there's anyone who don't appreciate ChatGPT. He or she can't solve everything for you, but when it comes to content creation and like getting you out of that little bit like stuck mode, it is a brilliant tool. So what I usually do is I just brain dump whatever I have in my head. It's all over the place. I brain dump it. Like yesterday, I had so many thoughts. I brain dumped it. My ChatGPT, I call him a he. Many people are a little bit upset when I say mine is a he, but I think he is a he. Anyways, he wrote a newsletter for me, and it was so long. And I was like, I can't use this. My audience or my subscribers, they will tire when they just open that email and see this long email. So I said, maybe we should split it up, do it into 3 different content ideas. I haven't used all of those content ideas yet, but it's just so that you have them. And then you start a little bit like an inventory. You start, or like how do you call it, like create a folder where you create all of these ideas. It can be a simple Excel spreadsheet or a Word document, or if you have the paid version of ChatGPT, you can even create these different types of projects so that you always have a go-to place, or even just your notes on your iPhone, for example. My notes is so filled with ideas that when I'm out walking or I'm listening to something and all of these ideas just pop up, grab them and create content around them. But please, I don't know, bear in mind that if you talk about everything and anything, then it will be harder for your audience to understand what exactly it is that you're doing. So try to narrow it down, try to be focused. Because if you, let's say, one day you talk about yoga, and then the next day you talk about a cooking class or whatever, it might be entertaining, you might get a lot of engagement on that, but that alone is not going to get you to your why. And unless that is kind of like something that was your why, to just, test it out, to just build an audience. Maybe that was your why. So hi, Tama. I see we have Tama Trotti here. So happy that you're here. This is the number one issue. Finding what haven't already been said or talked about, this is the struggle. And I think that, by the way, I agree. I mean, there probably isn't anything that hasn't been said already, but your audience needs to hear it again and again and again, and they might need to hear it from you. So I met with my client Janet last week, and I told her when she spoke about all her 4 jobs, this is like 4 years ago when we met the first time, and I said, but how will the universe know what it is that you want to focus on if you're all over the place? And this wasn't the first time that she had heard that, and I didn't say it out of to make her feel kind of like, I don't know, because this was the very first we met. And yet that phrase that she probably had heard like hundreds of times before landed in that exact moment. And that was a little bit the kickoff that she needed to get. Then we have Mary, who suggests post about things that only you can speak to. Yeah, and or even think in terms of, I am a specialist. I know this topic. I know what these things mean. Depending on what it is that you do or what you want to share, you will be seen as an authority when you start talking about these things, especially if you're a little bit passionate about them. People will notice that. They will see that you feel that, oh, I can definitely do this. So when I help people with LinkedIn, in the beginning, I was a very reluctant LinkedIn trainer, but I turned it into my way. Because what I really love doing, I love connecting people. That is a little bit like my superpower, to connect people with each other. And for that, LinkedIn is probably the best tool there is to really connect people, to get to know people, to get like real access to people. So number one of your challenges might be, oh, I don't have any content. Then we have the number two of the challenges, which might be engagement. What if no one likes it? What if no one comments on my posts? What if I don't get an engagement? What do I do then, right? That can feel very disheartening. Or in the beginning, what if someone is trolling me? What if someone posts something mean on my channel? So first of all, if you're new to LinkedIn and you haven't really started yet, start by commenting on other people's posts. Get kind of like that routine in. Also, if you feel that, oh, I don't have that much engagement on my own content, how are you commenting on other people's posts? Because first, think in terms of, how do I want people to show up on my content, in my posts? That's the way that you should show up on their posts. And then you have this natural reciprocity. And maybe you can find, and I'm not talking about engagement pods here, but maybe you can find 5 to 6 people or 10 people that you really like their content. So you start engaging in their content regularly, and you will see that they will return back the favor to you. For those 5 to 10 people, don't pick like the biggest scorers. They don't necessarily write back to you. Some of them absolutely do, but not all of them. So rather pick people who are maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 to 20 to 30,000 followers, because they still want to grow their audience too. So then if we don't have an engagement, don't feel too beat down about it, because as an example, so I had more likes and more comments on one of my posts in comparison to one of my clients, and his post had went viral. He had over 160,000 views. That post that I'm referring to, my post, still had like 33,000 views or anything, so it wasn't bad. But in comparison, even though I had more likes and more comments, so just because if someone looks as if they have lots of likes and lots of comments, it might not get the same number of impressions that you get. And by the way, something going viral or getting loads and loads of impressions doesn't necessarily convert into clients, right? Or convert into opportunities, because I'd rather like to talk about opportunities than clients and leads, because it's so much bigger than that. So then in terms, like, stop focusing on getting impressions, stop chasing the likes and the comments, and rather think in terms of, what do I want to share? How do I want to show up in my own feed? How do I want to show up in someone else's feed? And take it from there. It's so much more fun then. And then we have the third challenge. I've only picked a couple of challenges. There might be so many more challenges here, by the way. Then the third challenge is, I don't have the time. When the heck should I find the time? So when you start setting your intentions, so what is it that I want to achieve? If you haven't been posting at all, then saying that I will post 5 times per week might be a little bit overdoing it. 1 time per week might be a little bit too little, to be honest, if you want to really, depending on what it is that you want to do, right? Or want to achieve. But start setting your intention. What if I show up twice per week or 3 times per week? Can I do that? If I cut away something else, I don't know, are you scrolling on your phone? Are you checking out Netflix? Whatever it might be. Maybe cut that out and instead add some real effective and efficient LinkedIn time to your calendar. So let's assume you post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example. Is that possible? Maybe you post Tuesday, Thursday. Is that possible? So think in terms of, what can I do? How can I show up on LinkedIn so that I really build it into my habit, so that I can keep going, so that you don't burn out and go all in, and then you're so tired and so fed up with everything that you just don't want to do anything more. So when you have your challenges, go through your challenges. What is stopping you? What is keeping you? And then you set your intentions. Like, what is it? Like, how many can I really commit to? And then you set your goal. What is it that you want to achieve? And then you start tracking that. Set 30 days first. What do you want to achieve by 30 days? And then you go back and you review what you actually did. So what we measure, that we can grow, right? If we don't know where we're heading, you don't know how many followers or connections you have, you don't know how many you want to get, then it's really hard to see if what you're doing is that really working. So identify a couple of metrics like connections or followers. How many times do you want to be on LinkedIn per week? Set a couple of these like measurable metrics that you can also say, and then you can go back maybe at the end of the week or at the end of the 30 days and say, what did I achieve? What has happened? What hasn't happened? And you will also see that when you set these metrics, when you set these goals, it will grow naturally. Maybe not as fast as you wanted, but it will grow. And you will also see the progress that you're making. So what you need to do is posting, engaging, and to not forget connecting. And I had a live talk the other day with a group of people, and one of the people there said, so you mean I should connect with random people? Yes, not necessarily totally random people. Check out their profiles. See, do you have anything in common? Maybe you work at the same company. Maybe you have worked at the same company. Maybe you work in the same industry. Maybe that person is posting about something that you find really interesting. If you have, depending on if you have the paid account or if you have the free account, make sure that you then also send a direct message to that person. If you have a free account, you have up to 5 direct messages you can send to your connection request. If you have a paid account, like a premium account, then you can always send a direct message with your connection request. It increases the probability that your connection request will be accepted. So we have Bilal here, and it's so nice to see you here, Bilal. I know that you are busy now that you've recently moved to the UK. And these are things that Bilal just wrote to me in a comment on one of my posts. Be personal, connect with the people, because that will make people actually remember you. So happy to see you here too. So what I want you to do is set your intention, define your 30-30-30 goal, like 90 days, the first 30 days, the second 30 days, the last 30 days. Then you start posting, engaging, and connecting. It's not harder than that. So I will actually close down this live session. If you have any questions or pop up, or you watch this live session later, because it stays on my YouTube channel, for example, Josefine Wanner, if you're not following there already, make sure you do so now. Today, also, we are kicking off a live 3-day training series. It's my business partner, Angela Sandas, who is kicking off a live 3-day series today. It's where she will cover how to sell and scale with virtual events. And with virtual events, that can be a webinar, it can be a masterclass, it can be a multi-day challenge, it can be a boot camp, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same thing. The purpose of a live virtual event is that you connect with your audience, you get to know them, you get to share something about your strategy, about what it is that you're doing. They get to know you, so you build know, like, and trust really fast. So if you want to know the strategy behind that, then I would love to invite you to come and join us in the 3-day training that we are doing today, that we're kicking off today. So I will share the link to that training just as soon as I've closed down this live. If you're completely new to LinkedIn, you don't really know where to start or what to do, I will add the link to my LinkedIn to my LinkedIn Mastery checklist, so that you can download that one too, and you can get going on optimizing your LinkedIn profile. It's been a pleasure to be here with you today, and can't wait to see you next week. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.